So the Brand Expansion Workshop is a 3-hour workshop designed for entrepreneurs and leaders to think more entrepreneurially and to start to look at the entrepreneur journey and the leadership journey of growing a business or a division of a business. And we look at how that journey unfolds. It's a lot more predictable than most people think. So most people think their business that they're working on is entirely unique with a whole layer of unique problems. What we've found from interviewing thousands of entrepreneurs is that there are a lot of similarities. And most entrepreneurs see the bricks, but they don't step back to see the wall, and they lose perspective, and therefore they get caught up in their own, little challenges, not realizing that there are easy ways to progress through the journey. So we break the stages up. We look at the startup phase, the wilderness phase, which is all about survival, hand to mouth. We look at the lifestyle phase where it's fun and it's dynamic and it's found that kind of boutique feel. We look at the desert, which is basically a scaling phase, and resources are very tight. We look at high performance, and then we look at something called unicorns. And we take people through that journey. One of the things that becomes very obvious is the only people who venture into the territories of business that you really want to be in are what's called key people of influence. So every business revolves around a key person of influence or a group of key people of influence. Those people are known, liked, and trusted within their industry. Those people's names come up in conversations. They get things done. They make things happen. And they're the center point for growing a business. So we talk about the role of a key person of influence in progressing through the journey and how to play that role. The workshop, as I said, is 3 hours. The first section is a lot of content, and it's ideas, strategies, and a bit of backstory, a bit of future vision. And then the second half, the second hour and a half, is very workshoppy. So that's where we actually have workbooks and materials, and we map out a journey. And what we do is we look at where you are today, positives, negatives, a snapshot of the current situation. And we look at what would perfectly unfold if you had an amazing 3 years. And we go forward in time 3 years. And then we look at the journey between where you are today and what would result in a really wonderful 3-year outcome. We look at predictably what's going to get in the way, and ideally we give you a new perspective on what needs to happen in order for you to get to where you want to go. So there are 5 skills to becoming a key person of influence, and they revolve around strengths in pitching. So how do you communicate through the spoken word in order to create influence? Published content, how do you create content that goes out and spreads a message? Product and service ecosystem. So what are the key products and services that are going to help you to grow and scale your business? Profile, how do you become known and get some cut through in a very noisy marketplace? And partnerships, how do you make your business collaboration friendly as opposed to competitive so that other people want to share their resources with you and get involved and see themselves as a component in your success? So we talk about those 5 key areas and those 5 strengths. When we look at hyper-resourceful people, that is people who get a lot done, a lot more than most people, they tend to exhibit really high levels of competencies in those 5 areas. So we talk about how do you leverage those? What are the best practices? What do you need to learn? What do you need to do? What's the behavior in order to excel in those 5 areas? This workshop is the culmination of a lot of work. Over the last 5 years, we've worked with 1,500 entrepreneurs as clients. We've had over 10,000 entrepreneurs and leaders that we've come in contact with. I've written 3 best-selling books on business, entrepreneurship, and leadership. We have interacted at a very close level with a number of businesses. We've helped them to get funding. We've helped them to go from startup right through to multi-million-pound business. We've had some phenomenal success stories. We've won major industry awards all over the world. We've grown a global business around the world using these sorts of ideas. And one of the things that we learned is that businesses lack perspective. So as the entrepreneur, as the leader, the one thing it's almost impossible to get is perspective on your own business because you spend too much time there. You're too close to the detail. This is an opportunity to step back, to zoom out, and to actually see the journey from a perspective that you normally wouldn't see, to be guided through a process of planning out the next 3 years, but not from a process of forward engineering the past, but reverse engineering the future. And we do that through a process that's been refined over the last 5 years. When a business owner loses perspective, they tend to focus on the functional elements of the business. They become very commoditized. They focus on being competitive, they get stuck in the detail, and they become less and less special, they become less unique, and they ultimately become commoditized and bland. Only when you get perspective can you tune into your story, your successes, your experiences, your network, the hidden resources that you've got access to. And it's only through having that perspective that you can actually identify some of the hidden assets that you're already sitting on. The one thing that all entrepreneurs have in common is that they have wonderful assets that are under their nose, that they've lost perspective on, and that there's so much more they could be doing if they only had a little bit of perspective as to how much value they had at their disposal. This workshop is designed so that it gives you the ideas and the content as well as the strategies for you to walk away and become more vital. Now, what does vitality mean? Vitality has two definitions, and the two definitions are life force. So, a vital organ gives you life, and also irreplaceable. So it's something you can't be without. So what we say is that a business has to strive to become vital, which is that it's an irreplaceable life force. And for you to be a key person of influence, you have to be the irreplaceable life force of your business, you have to be the irreplaceable life force of your industry, and then you scale. Now, what most people feel is that scares them. Most people want to systematize so they can get out of their business, and patently that strategy does not work. If you look at people who travel around the world speaking about systematization and stepping out of your business, they're in their business playing a vital role of traveling around speaking, demonstrating vitality. The purpose of systems, the purpose of processes, the purpose of all of that kind of technology that runs the business is not so you get out of the business. It's so that you move to a higher level of vitality. It's so that you have more impact and more influence. So what we do in this workshop is we give you the tools and resources and ideas and strategies to be able to step out of the day-to-day running of the business and into a high level of what's called vitality. Energy, life force, irreplaceable, that sort of role within your business. So when you're running a business, the idea of taking 3 hours out of the business to go and do something, a little bit lofty, a little bit in your head, probably feels like a bit of an opportunity cost. And you might think about, maybe I spend time with a client or go, pick up the phone and make another sale. I really urge people just to ask the question, when was the last time I really zoomed out to try and get a bit more perspective around my business and where it could go? When was the last time I spent time with a bunch of entrepreneurs and leaders who are focused on, growing a business that really serves them? When was the last time I had a look at the entrepreneur journey and where I am now and where I'd like to be? And if you haven't done that for a little while, it's worth taking the time out, coming along to a 3-hour workshop and actually workshopping some of the ideas that we talk about, some of the things that make a difference. Don't think of it as taking 3 hours out. Think of it as leveraging the experiences of thousands of entrepreneurs over the last 5 years. We've been able to learn from their experiences and package it up into a 3-hour workshop. We've run this workshop all over the world for people in 50 plus different industries. We've helped fitness trainers go from taking home $50,000 a year to $250,000 a year. We've helped financial planners go from looking for clients to turning away amazing clients. In fact, one of our financial planning clients who attended this workshop said to me that he couldn't believe the quality of clients that he now turns away because he's a key person of influence. We've helped people in hair and beauty, we've helped people in B2B, we've helped people in technology, we've worked with startups who want to build a lifestyle business, we've worked with people who are bored with the lifestyle business who want to get across the desert and build a performance business. And all the way along that journey, we've found that whether you're an entrepreneur or a leader, we have the content, strategies and ideas to get you along the journey much faster. So a lot of entrepreneurs go looking out for different ideas to grow their business and to find value. And they look at some technology company or they read a magazine and see some entrepreneur in the property industry or in the stock market industry or some other industry, and they think that they have to go on a completely new journey in order to find that value. What we've discovered is a lot of people are standing on mountains of value that they can't see. It's funny, I had the opportunity to climb a mountain in Bali and we set out and we spent hours climbing it. It was very challenging, but when we got to the top of the mountain, we had this beautiful view of the entire horizon. We could see other mountains, we could see lakes, we could see the ocean, but we couldn't see the mountain we were standing on. And that's like entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a challenging journey and a frustrating journey. And because it takes so much time and because you're so close to it, you completely lose perspective as to how much value you're already on and how close you are to achieving exactly what you've always wanted and the dream you've got for your business. But in order to see that value, you have to get new perspective. For me, the perspective I love seeing is when someone gets it.